In 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Welcome to a little thing that we call the Cipher 360. I am your host, Marcus the Kid Warren, and with me is my man Muff. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing awesome. Really good week. We're glad we're back. We've been on we always go on hiatus. If you like 3, 4, 5 shows in a row, then you won't hear from us from a couple of months, whatever.
Exactly.
But we're back, and we're always going to be here.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
Cipher Crew forever. It is what it is. Something I wanted to talk to you about a little bit. I mentioned also like off camera, but I'll talk about it on camera in a little bit detail before we go into what we're going to review today. But before going into that, if you could give the people an idea as to how they can go ahead and reach us.
You can reach us on our Facebook page. We are the Cipher Crew. You can also hit us up on Twitter. We are Kid and Muff, KIDDMUFF 40. I forgot the AND. KIDDANDMUFF 44 on Twitter. You can also hit us up on our. What else do we have?
You don't put that on me, man. You all right?
I'm messing with you, man. You can also hit us up on our Gmail account. We are Kid and Muff 44 on Gmail. That's KIDDANDMUFF.
Freaking credits over here saying, who did this? What did I say? What? What's the problem?
Anyway, hit us up. Let us know what you think about our show. Let us know what you think about any upcoming hip hop. If you have any music of your own, be sure to send it to us because we love it.
Yeah, we got some hip hop to review, guys. It's a couple of people that sent us some not demos, but sent us some of their music that they would like reviewed, and I've not forgotten about you, and I will get to that. In fact, I want to do a show based on some of the music we've been getting from you guys. So continue to send it. If you think, I know we've been real lax in getting to your music, but we've really been behind with music from a lot of these artists we're trying to talk about right now. To be honest with you, we have so much music. We haven't even reviewed some of the stuff that we really want to get to. But at any rate, before I go into my sorrow dance, whatever the heck.
Bullshit.
Heavy D and the Boys, they did it unsung. For some of you who don't know, I guess TV1, the TV1 channel, for those of you that have either, Time Warner or what's the Time Warner? What does Russell have down there? What is their Comcast?
Yes.
Or Comcast, whatever. There's a TV1 channel called TV1, and they have this great series called Unsung, where they go over some of the best artists that are probably less heralded than some of your more established artists. Not even more established, but whatever. And like they did one on Big Daddy Kane in the past. They've done it like on the Gap Band and all this other stuff, right? Well, they did. The latest one was on Heavy D and the Boys, right? And we know that Heavy D, obviously, a couple years ago, passed away tragically from, I think he had like a blood clot from like an airplane ride. It was something crazy the way he wound up dying. But a couple takeaways from that real quick before we go into what we're going to review.
Okay.
One was like, they were really, really influential in music, big time. A couple things. Number one, Trouble T. Roy wound up dying. I didn't know exactly how Trouble T. Roy died. For those of you who don't know, Trouble T. Roy was part of Heavy D and the Boys. He's one of the boys. There was DJ Eddie F., who's the DJ, obviously. They had 2 dancers. One wound up is with them today, or he's not with us, but Trouble T. Roy is the other guy who wound up passing away after their second album, okay, called Big Time.
Okay.
All right. And I guess what it was, just to make a long story short, Trouble T. Roy, they were horsing around like in India. They did a show at the Indiana Dome, whatever the heck it was. And Trouble T. Roy's like on a ledge, they're horsing around. He falls down. People thought he was just fell down like one flight. He fell down like 2 and 3 stories. Wound up dying, obviously, and it was real heavy. And
no pun intended.
Right, whatever. And as you guys may or may not know already, the song "They Reminisce Over You." The acronym Troy is about Trouble T. Roy. And still listening to that song, I shed a tear listening to that song, especially after how they were talking about how that really, affected them and how, the song, because the song is really, that's one of my favorite all-time songs anyway. They Reminisce Over You by Pete Rock and CL Smooth. One of the best beats ever in hip-hop, all that stuff. This is like one of the best ever hip-hop songs in the period. Also, Heavy D. Heavy D was a guy before Biggie Smalls. Heavy D was the one dude who had that type of respect from the streets and the mainstream. Even though hip hop wasn't particularly mainstream at that time, but people who knew about hip hop definitely knew who Heavy D was and had respect from all genres of hip hop. You know what I mean? So big up to Heavy D. We actually reviewed, I think, some time ago his last album, which came out posthumously.
Oh my God! Yes, we sure
did,
didn't
right?
we?
So. Heavy D was a very talented dude. He wound up running Uptown for a short period of time. DJ Eddie F is one of the most influential people in hip hop period right now, and that's another thing. You got to see the documentary. But what are we here to review? Enough of that.
My man, we reviewed his this album like when was this, last year?
We must have done like 2 or 3 of his joints, man. Yeah, we did about a year ago.
But one of my favorite albums he put out, album of the year, which I thought actually was the album of the year or close to the album of the year, Black Milk.
Black Milk, man, one of my favorite producer MCs out there. You know what I mean? No Poison, No Paradise is the name of the latest CD he's put out. A couple things. Number one, I love the fact that this dude uses that. I love his drums, man. And there's something about these Detroit dudes and their drums, man. Like Black Milk and Young RJ, who is the producer for Slum Village, who does a lot of Slum Village's production. Their drums knock. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to the lead single from this album, which I believe is Sunday's Best, the same thing. The beat is, it just knocks, man. But I think it's a live drum he plays on that, though. Because I think by trade, I'm pretty sure by trade, Black Milk is a drummer. That's what he does. He's a drummer. You know what I mean? Who happens to be an MC, and a very good MC at that. And one of the most impressive things about him as an MC, in my opinion, his cadence, man. And a lot of things. One of the takeaways I have from this album is that, as a producer MC, it's something about when you're a producer of your own beats, how your cadence goes over that beat, man. You can tell when a guy knows his beat, how he wants to flow over it, because he kills this on Sunday's Best, particularly. He kills that beat. Okay, Codes and Catfair, same thing. The second joint in the album, I think, is hot. Live instrumentation, but Black Milk just goes in. His cadence is crazy, and I think it comes from the fact that he's such a prolific producer, man. And here's the thing, though. He called his last album the album of the year, and this album, I like this album too. I still think he's capable of a better album. He's got it in there. He's got it in him. But go ahead. Where are you at on that?
Well, I agree with you on a lot of things.
Okay.
But, when you say a producer or an MC can be better when he produces his own beats, I kind of agree with you when it comes to MCs like this, because he's just a very talented kid. When I say kid, he's younger than me, so I call him a kid. No disrespect. I just think that his cadence is just so crazy and goes along with the beats. He just accents the beats. It helps that he's a producer.
Yeah,
rapper.
That's a very good point.
He's probably one of the top 5 MC producers out there right now.
That's a good question. That'd be a good freaking poll to take. Like, who's the best MC producer? And he would definitely be up there for sure for me. I think he's dope.
Definitely, at least one of the top 5. I agree. And you pretty much said everything that I was going to say. His cadence is crazy. On this album, I don't think his beats were they were good, okay? They were good, but they were a little bit different, a little bit more artificial, a little bit more synthesized. When I thought an album of the year, they were a little bit more jazzy, had more feeling to them and everything, but still a very great album.
See, actually, I think I kind of, not to be contrarian here to what you're saying, but I think the opposite of what you're saying. This album's actually a little bit more jazzy.
Really?
Yeah. If you
on certain tracks, yes.
Yeah, so like Perfected and Pure and Nav, and that's one of the mental notes I took when I was listening to it too. And beforehand is that there's a lot of live instrumentation on this thing.
Oh, always.
And it doesn't come across quite as synthesized, but none of his music really does to me. But you can tell that he's really influenced by good music. Obviously, he's from Detroit, so you know who he's influenced by. He's definitely a disciple of Jay Dilla, whatever. But yeah, I hear like a lot of heavy jazz influence in this music. You know what I mean? Heavy jazz influence. But I'm gonna go ahead and rate it.
Go ahead.
Okay. If I'm gonna go ahead and rate this thing, I'm going to give this thing a very rock solid 4 out of 5.
Okay.
I think, again, the cadence is nuts. And, I never hold, producer MCs accountable necessarily for, content. Not that his content is bad, because he tells stories. It's funny. I was listening to, we know that Kanye West has been pretty much in the media circuit for the longest, And I came across a Kanye West interview from 2002, just before College Dropout was about to come out.
Okay.
And it was typical Kanye too. He hasn't changed a whole lot even from then. He's just a cocky dude who did beats, who could MC, and really believed in himself. And he's always believed in himself. Now he's kind of realized, what it is he's where he's at right now. At any rate, one of the things he talked about is the fact that he knew he had to be a different MC. Now think about the time he came out. Usually MCs are either a party MC, talking about parties or rims or whatever, or you got your conscious people, right? You got to. He was kind of he was in a no man's land. Typically his subject matter is usually things that MCs don't rap about.
Okay.
He's always been like that. You know what I mean? Jesus walks. MCs don't come out talking about Jesus walks. You know, how he got put on. He makes songs about how he got put on. He tells stories. Johnny West, and another thing too, with him being a producer MC, what makes Kanye great, his cadence is nuts. He's another guy that has, that's one of the things that people, I think, miss about Kanye, because he's such a big personality and such a big, music maker. His cadence, when it comes to actual MCing, the most impressive thing about Kanye West is his cadence, and the same thing here for Black Milk. So 4 out of 5 from me on that. And I hate to reduce his music to beats.
Okay.
It's well produced. You know, he produces songs, man, and it comes across on his album. Where are you?
Well, I agree with you. I'm gonna give this one about 4 out of 5. Because it's Black Milk. Black Milk, you expect great stuff out of him. Then you're gonna get great music out of this album.
Yes, sir.
I mean, not only is he a great producer, not only is he a great MC. I mean, is it me, or is it sometimes when you have a producer MC, you kind of you expect somebody to be weak, a little bit weak? I mean, if their beats are dope, you expect the rhymes not to be as tight, and if the rhymes are mad tight, you expect the beats not, maybe they'll be subpar. Black Milk, they go hand in hand. He has set the bar very, very high.
Yeah, I mean, even to that point, think about how long you've been listening to hip hop, like Dr. Dre, for instance, right? In fact, I had an argument with a dude at work one day about the fact that he was talking about MCs. He said, "Yeah, man, they have them dope MCs like Dr. Dre." It's like Dr. Dre was not a dope MC. He wasn't really even a rapper, really. So, I mean, rap producers, as kind of the rap producer, has evolved over the years.
Definitely.
Dr. Dre is not really a rapper. He'll tell you that, but he knows how to sound over his beats. But it's not like he has his dope cadence. Dr. Dre doesn't lace beats with lyrics or even with raps. He never really has, but he knows how to flow over songs. People write for him. It's not even him half the time. But then you got the guys like your Jay Dilla, who might be the all-time. For me, even though Kanye West is right now, you can say the best producer MC. He's more MC than producer nowadays, but that's a different issue. But I would say it's between him and Jay Dilla. To me, Jay Dilla still was a guy who was an incredibly dope MC, who really understood, his raps were like another instrument of his beat. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it was for me with Dilla. That's why he was so dope. It was like, I'm a rap over this thing. I got the drums, hi-hats, I got this, I got the metronome doing this, boom, 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 and I'm gonna say it like this, boom, 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 and it's gonna be a dope song. That was Dilla to me. You know what I'm saying? So really, Black Milk has a chance to do that, and I like the fact that he takes certain chances on his music. I don't like he's never he gonna make just regular beats. It's always, I'm gonna do something a little bit out of the norm of hip hop, much like your Kanye's and that type of thing. So
being very progressive.
Yeah,
I do
very
agree
good
with you.
word for that.
4 from my man, 4 from me.
Yep.
Black Milk, make sure you check him out. Don't forget to hit us up on our Facebook page. We have the Cipher Crew. You can also hit us up on our Gmail account. We are KIDDANDMUFF44. That's Kid and Muff 44 on Gmail. We're also Kid and Muff 44 on Twitter. So make sure you hit us up and check him out. And check out Black Milk. And why? Because the Cipher said so, son. We out. Peace.
Yeah, and you don't stop. Check it, my man Trey, and you don't stop. Johnny Boom Bats, and you don't stop. My man Muff, and you don't stop. My nigga Woo, and you don't stop. Little Brooklyn, and you don't stop. Grand Jury, and you don't stop. Jay White, and you don't stop. Cipher Music, and you don't stop. Check it, we rise from the grave with the eyes of a slave. We strive to survive, rocking the mic live, no surprise that we paid. We created a trade that became a craze, or was it vice versa? Gave birth to a verse and baptized it in cursive. If you thirst for the real, then travel no further. We murdered the fraudulent motherfuckers and went out to get burgers. We hip-hop carnivores, living by the art of war, with enough lyrical ammo in my dome that I can start a war. Still the shogun, defeated by no one. Bring it back soldiers, put them together, and I'm leaving them broke gun. With a hollow point flow, to the opposite of your toes. You'll be like, oh my god, the key I double, we didn't know. So put your hands to the opposite of the flow. Feel the rhythm with Muff on the beats, and the kid is on the wisdom. And who was on the boards, and the niggas had the vision. We can make some real shit to make these motherfuckers listen. To the people in the front, gonna give you what you want, like yeah, and you don't stop. To the people in the back, coming right and exact, like yeah, and you don't stop. It's like yes, yes, sure. To the beat, sure. When you give it to me, yeah, give it to me raw. When we get together, do we stand, do we fall? Welcome to the Backpackers Ball. Yes.